The Book of Declaration of Virtues. As stated earlier, the heart of ancient Egyptian ethics and spiritual striving is Ma'at. Ancient Egyptian ethics and spirituality, like all African ethics and spirituality, have and stress a practical dimension. Righteousness is real only in personal and social practice. Ma'at, then, is a social as well as spiritual task for which the reward is an enjoyable and beautiful life in the community on earth and a spiritual life in the heavens as a living God. See below in the books of Rising Like Ra. In a word, Ma'at is both a personal and social task and the promise and reward for completing it. The ancient Egyptians thus developed an ideal character type rooted in and reflective of Ma'at, which the instructions urge and the declarations of virtues state as both an accomplished fact and a model to emulate. This ideal type was the Geru, the self-mastered, calm, silent, controlled, modest, wise, gentle, and socially active, and the Geru Ma'at, who was truly the self-mastered. The first was the self-mastered, the second a kind of master of the self-mastered. The opposite of the self-mastered is the unrestrained person, hot-mouthed, hot-tempered, aggressive, and generally infused with isfet, the opposite of Ma'at. What one sees, then, in the declaration of virtues is the practice of basic values on the personal and social level which pose an ideal type and serve as a model of Ma'at for others to emulate. It is important to note that the personal is inseparable from the social, that righteousness and restraint are always, as in other African ethics and spirituality, achieved, tested, and tempered in relations with others. Ma'at begins with family relations that makes one praised by his or her father, loved by his or her mother, and cherished by his or her brothers and sisters. Ma'at expresses itself in a classic statement of Egyptian morality which appears thousands of years later in Hebrew Christian sacred texts. I gave food to the hungry, clothes to the naked, water to the thirsty, and a boat to those without one. The last part of this declaration of virtue, of course, reflects again the ancient Egyptian seafaring environment and reveals the essentiality of having a means of transportation on water. These declarations, which were usually found on stelae, a kind of memorial plaque, form a parallel and complement to the declarations of innocence which appear in the book of Coming Forth by Day, see below, and thus express a consistent ethic of right thought and practice whose reward is found in this life and the next. The Book of Declarations of Virtues. 1. Harwa, chief official of the high priestess of Amun-Ra, says, I am a noble for whom one should act, one of firm heart to the end of life. I am one beloved of his city, praised by his district, kind-hearted to his towns. I have done what the people love and God praises. I was one truly venerated and had no fault, who gave bread to the hungry and clothes to the naked. I put an end to pain and erased wrongdoing. I buried the blessed, supported the aged, and satisfied the needs of the have-nots. I was a shelter for the child and help to the widow, one who gave rank even to an infant. I did these things knowing their value and knowing their reward from the Lord of Ma'at. In a word, to endure in the mouth of the people without end, to be well remembered for years and years to come. 2. Jed Concefonk, prophet of Amun-Ra, says, "Hail to you who will come after me, who shall live in times to come. I shall make you call me blessed, for my destiny was great. Ra, as Kun the great potter, fashioned me into one most able, an advisor of excellent counsel. He made my character superior to others, and guided my tongue to that which was excellent. I kept my mouth free from attacking those who attacked me. My patience turned my foes into friends, and my enemies into allies. I controlled my mouth and was skilled in response, yet I did not submit to evil doing. The people judged me as one generous, for I hated the hoarding of riches. I caused them all to greet me for my excellence, paying homage to my inner essence, and saying of me, 'He is a righteous offspring of his father, and a divine descendant of his mother.' No one spoke evil of my parents because of me. My parents were honored greatly because of my worthiness. Indeed, they found me helpful while they lived upon the earth, and I provide offerings for them now that they have departed. Moreover, I did not allow my servants to address me as our master, but instead made myself in the image of their father." 3. Paheri, scribe of the royal treasury and mayor of 2 towns, says, "I am a noble who served his lord, one skilled and free of negligence. I walked the road I had explored. I was guided by my own heart on the road of those praised by the Pharaoh. My good character raised me high. I was summoned as one in whom no fault was found. If I were placed on the scales, I would come out complete, blameless and without a blemish. I came and went with a firm heart, telling no lies to anyone. I know the God that dwells in man and woman. Knowing him, I knew this from that and performed the tasks as they were commanded. I never confused the message with the messenger. I did not speak vulgar words or talk with worthless people. Indeed, I was the model of kindness." 4. Harkup, governor of Upper Egypt and teacher priest, says, "The Pharaoh praised me, and my father made for me a will, for I was one worthy, one beloved of his father, praised by his mother, and one whom all his sisters and brothers loved. I gave bread to the hungry, clothing to the naked, and brought the boatless to dry land. I was one who spoke justly, who repeated that which was pleasing to hear. I never spoke evilly against anyone to his or her superior, for I wished to stand well with the Most High God. Never did I judge between 2 contenders in such a way that it deprived the child of his or her parents' legacy." 5. Nefer Seshemra says, "I have spoken truly and done right. I spoke justly and repeated that which was just. I seized the right moment so as to stand well with the people. I judged between 2 in such a way that would satisfy both of them. I rescued the weak from those who were stronger as much as was in my power. I gave bread to the hungry, clothes to the naked, and brought the boatless to dry land. I buried those who had no children, and built a boat for those who were without one. I respected my father, pleased my mother, and raised my sisters and brothers." 6. Winofer, prophet of Osiris, says, "May God give me incense for the city of eternity, and water for the graveyard of the west. For I am a man for whom one should act. I was true-hearted, just, and trustworthy, one who walked on the water of God. I was one praised in his town, generous in his district, and kind and compassionate to every one. I was friendly and one welcomed by others, widely loved and cheerful. I was self-mastered in times of stress and misfortune, beautiful of speech and well-spoken. I was a strong shelter for the needy, one on whom all could lean. I welcomed the stranger and was a helpful advisor and an effective guide. I was one who protected the weak from the strong and was a boat to cross water for everyone. I was a worthy noble who did God's wish and one kind and compassionate to his friends. I was generous to the have-nots. My heart did not say, "Give me," to anyone. I was one who loved justice and hated wrongdoing, and I always did what was good. 7. Neb-Neferu, prophet of Amun-Ra, says, I live on earth as one who gave guidance in work to the unaware, who instructed the craftsman by the rule, who knew what to say when speaking in the palace, who erased wrong in every situation, who pleased God with cleansing. I spoke to the people in a manner they liked, and judged everyone according to their character, giving attention to what they wished. 8. Ankh-Tifi, great ruler of the district of Edfu and Hyrcanpolis, says, I am the vanguard and the rear guard of the people, one who finds the solution where it is lacking, a leader of the land through active assertion. I choose and use words well, and am collected in thought on the day of the joining of 3 southernmost districts. For I am a champion without peer, who spoke out when the people were silent, on the day of fear when Upper Egypt was silent. Those on whom I placed my hand never met misfortune, for my heart was committed and my counsel excellent. 9. Becca, steward of the public granary, says, I was just and true, and one without malice, for I placed God in my heart and was quick in discerning his will. I have reached the city of those who dwell in eternity. I have done good on earth. I have not injured others. I have neither been evil nor approved of anything evil or offensive. I have delighted in speaking truth, for I knew well the reward that comes from doing this on earth, from the time of one's first act till the time one reaches the grave. Indeed, my sure defense shall be in speaking truth on the day when I reach the divine judges, the skillful interpreters, discoverers of all actions and chastisers of all offenses. I took pleasure in righteousness, staying in harmony with the laws of the hall of Ma'at. I have not oppressed the lowly, nor done harm to those who honor God. I have spent my life in the way of righteousness. The sincerity and goodness which were in the heart of my father and mother, I returned through my love for them, and I never acted in any manner to dishonor them, even from the earliest days of my youth. Though of great status, I have acted as one whose position was low, and I have not undermined anyone worthier than myself. 10. Antef, High Steward of the Office of Government, says, I am silent before the angry, patient with the ignorant in order to quell conflict. I am cool, free from hasty acts, anticipating the outcome, expecting what occurs. I am one who counsels in situations of strife, a person who knows which words incite anger. I am friendly when called upon to those who would tell me their concern. I am controlled, kind, friendly, one who comforts the weeper with good words. I am generous to those who count on me, and one who does good to his peers. I am one who is just in the house of his Lord, who recognizes flattery when it is spoken. I am pleasant, open-handed, a possessor of food who does not hide his face from those in need. I am a friend of the poor and favorable to them who have not. I am one who feeds the hungry who are needy, and one who is open-handed to those who are destitute. I am one who is informed to those who lack knowledge, and one who teaches a person what is useful to him or her. I am upright in the house of the Pharaoh, one who knows that which should be said in every office. I am a listener, one who listens to Ma'at and who ponders it in the heart. I am a peacemaker in the house of his Lord, one who is remembered by reason of his excellent qualities. I am kind in the courts, one who is calm and not offensive. I am a good man, not acting hastily, one who does not attack a person for a single remark. I am accurate like the scale, impartial and true like the Lord of just measure. I am a man firm of foot, whose plans are well thought out, who is loyal to those who have caused him to prosper. I am a knower who taught himself knowledge, an adviser whose advice is sought. I am one who speaks in the hall of justice, one who is skilled in speech in difficult situations. Moreover, he says, I set goodness under my house, and love for me went throughout the land. I gave bread to the hungry, water to the thirsty, and helped the shipwrecked on their way. I buried the aged. I clothed the naked. I committed no sin against man or woman, and none that God hates. I applied the law which the Pharaoh loved. I have come to my city and entered my home. I have done that which both man and woman love, and things that are approved of by God.